ladies, this is the dude that y'all want to stay away from. The dude where you're like, yo, like, we could only be friends. Like, I know I let you smash. I know I let you once, but like, yo, we gotta be friends. Like, I gotta go off to college, or maybe my parents don't like you, and this motherfucker gets salty and now he wants to kill you and he gonna smash your best friend. This is the nigga that y'all need to stay away from, ladies. Kristen Cole right here. House of the Dragon. If you've been living under a rock, this shit is fire. It's coming off of, it's a prequel to Game of Thrones. It's fire. It's fire. We've been waiting a long ass time for this episode. This is season 2, episode 1. Already starts off with the shits. If you don't remember, I could just recap. The way that the last season ended is Rhaenyra is supposed to be the queen of the Seven Kingdoms, but she got snaked and usurped by her ex-best friend, who was also her mother-in-law, because her dad couldn't keep it in his pants and find somebody else. And yeah, she usurped the throne and put her son on it after her husband died, because he was fucking delirious and had some crazy ass disease that was basically eating his body away. And Rhaenyra basically declared war on the High Towers, or her nephew, or is it nephew? Yeah, it's nephew. I guess so. I don't know. It's weird, but yes, on her nephew, who is what the fuck is his name? I'm so confused by the fucking Targaryens, because their names be fucking. It's so many. I know I fuck with Aemon Targaryen and Daemon Targaryen. We have Rhaenyra. What's the old prince? Aegon the Second. Yeah, that's the guy right there. Aegon the Second is the new king that they crowned. And in the midst of all of this, there's been beef because Aemon's younger brother, Aegon's younger brother, who is Aemon, this is going to be very confusing, got his eye shanked when he was younger by Rhaenyra's kids, because he basically stole a dragon from Rhaenyra's sister-in-law's kids. Were all, it's so fucking confusing. And also, if you didn't know, there's a lot of incest and crossbreeding in this show, so it gets fucking wild. But yeah, so he's always had a vengeance. So he got older, he rides this big ass dragon called Vhagar, and as he was taunting one of the brothers, who is also his cousins, the dragon basically ate his cousin, and the dragon killed him. So this is basically starting the Dance of the Dragons. Thoroughly impressed with this season. A lot of crazy shit. First off, how can where do I start with this shit? I'm like all over the place right now. Where do I fucking start? I have no idea where to start. But first, obviously, Rhaenyra is fucking mourning her dead son. She's flying around looking for his body and shit like that. She, at the end of the last season, she sent her sons to basically go to other houses to basically recruit, because she needs to build a fucking army and take back the throne. When she was younger, her father made all of the great houses pledge their allegiance to her, because he dubbed her the queen that's going to be his heir to become queen of all of Westeros, which I believe has never been done before, because all of his sons that he was having with his ex-wife basically were stillborns, or they died at birth. So his wife ends up passing away, and he gets married again, and he starts to have boys now, and everybody knows it's like, boy, the first boy is the heir to the throne, but he already dubbed his first daughter the queen. So that's the friction right there. It's actually Rhaenyra's stepbrother. It's so confusing. I know. Keep up with me. So see, I'm fucking lost, but whatever. All right, cool. So Rhaenyra is like taking her sons to like recruit other houses and to basically build up her army, while as the High Towers are also doing it, right? Alicent, her son Aegon. Let me see if I could pull up like the newer versions of them, because they had like the younger kid versions, and then everybody like grew up in like a span of like an episode. Of course, we're gonna be super difficult, super difficult. Hmm, I guess we could deal with this. We could deal with this. All right, here we go. King Aeon right here. All right. So and his brother, Aemon. So they're both sides are trying to build their army. There's Team Black, which is Rhaenyra, Daemon, and then there's Team Green, which is Allison Hightower, Otto Hightower, which is her father, who is also hand to the king, which is Aemon Targaryen. There's this nigga Kristen Cole who is down bad. This is the nigga that you don't want in your crew, gang. This is ladies, this is the dude that y'all want to stay away from. The dude where you're like, yo, like we could only be friends. Like, I know I let you smash, I know I let you fuck once, but like, yo, we gotta be friends. Like, I gotta go off to college, or maybe my parents don't like you, or and this motherfucker gets salty and now he wants to kill you and he gonna smash your best friend. This is the nigga that y'all need to stay away from, ladies. Kristen Cole right here. All right. We got Caloris Valerian, who is on Rhaenyra's side. We got his wife, Rhaenys. Badass couple right here. Super wealthy. He's the king of the oceans. He's got a massive sea fleet. She's also a Targaryen. She rides a fire ass dragon, Melees, or whatever that dragon's name is. They have two um grandchildren who Damon is also the father of because he married these two's daughter, but the wife died giving birth. And I know it's confusing. I know it. But and now they're promised to be married to their cousins, which is Rhaenyra's kids, which are also their stepbrother and I know it's confusing as fuck. I know, but it's a fire ass show. If you could get past the incest and all that. And then we got Jacaerys, who is now, I think her firstborn son, who is alive, her middle child died, and she has a new. She also has a younger son, and then she also was giving birth and he died. There's also like a whole bunch of other characters. There's this guy who's a snake. Also, he's also got a foot fetish. One of my favorite characters right here on Team Green. All right, this is Helena. She is daughter to Allicent Hightower. Her brother, older brother, who is Aemon, the king of Westeros, right, or the usurper king who took the throne from Rhaenyra, who was actually forced onto the throne. He didn't really want it, but now it's like, yo, you give me this power. It's like, yo, I can fuck mad bitches. I got mad rule over the kingdom. It's like, of course, I'm gonna be the fucking king. Helena is his sister, right? Also his motherfucking wife. And they got like mad kids together. So again, we are on the topic, baby. We got this new character. I don't know who this is. And Kragan Stark. Oh man, seeing the Starks again. So in the beginning, we see because at the end of the first season, Jakaris was sent off to go to Winterfell. Winterfell, that's the gang right here. The North remembers, baby. I'm from the North. All right, let's go. And we got to see the wall again. We got to see the Starks fired. So they promised their allegiance, but they only got like a couple of men, like 2,000. It's like, yo, you could take these 2,000 men. All right, cool. Mad shit happens in between. One of the most important characters, but one of the characters that's not like seen a lot is Helena. One of the things about the Targaryens is like every so often there's a Targaryen that has like these weird like I don't want to call it like powers, but I guess you can call it that. So, as far as in the books, the and I haven't like read the books, so I listened to like some of it like audio, and other than that, it's like just like reading shit online. But from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, some of the Targaryens um can have like foresight, like they could see the future and like dreams and shit like that. So like the Doom of Valeria, I believe, again, correct me if I'm wrong, that there was a Targaryen that was telling everybody, yo, Valeria's about to blow up. Like niggas need to get the fuck out of here. Nobody believed them, and I think that's what led to Aegon's quest to conquer Westeros is because Valeria is basically blown up from volcanoes. You can kind of tie Daenerys in there because she was the unburnt, like she couldn't be burned by fire, which that's not like a Targaryen trait. That's just to her. All right. Helena also kind of has like this like foresight. And if any time that she's on the screen, she says something that foreshadows what's about to happen in that episode, right? So, for instance, in the first episode, she tells her husband, who's also her brother, who's also her king, who's also her baby dad, like it's mad shit. All right, whatever. That yo, I'm afraid, and he's like, oh, you ain't got shit to be worried about. Like yo, I got shit locked down over here in King's Landing. Like we good, baby. Also little sister, also older sister, like man, whatever. But like we good. And she's like, nah, like yo, the rats, like you know, whatever. And like we kind of like brush that off, and she's done this like before. So when she says this now, like it's pretty clear to the audience, like, oh, some shit's about to happen with the rats. All right. Remember that. We're gonna get to it, right? First things first, right? We see this now. We see my girl Allison Hightower, right? So I'm like, yo, I see her like this. They go to the scene and it's like above here, right there. So I'm like, oh, that's my baby girl Allison Hightower. If y'all don't know, like this girl is fire, bro. Hold on, let me what's her name? Olivia Olivia Cook, I believe her name is. Yo, she is a baddie. Olivia Cook. Let me not let me not. Y'all could tell, right? Y'all could tell. She. All right, yeah, y'all could see her, right? She's a baddie. She got a little bit crazy, like not crazy, like you know, it's not like corn or anything, but she's a baddie. All right, she got some fire picks. All right, some fire what would you call it? Like swimsuit magazine esque type picks. So that's the shorty right here. So she pops up on the screen for the first time season 2 episode 1. I'm like, oh shit, yo, that's my girl, that's my shorty right there. Where we at? That's my shorty. She like standing there like this, her eyes rolling back. I'm like, oh shit, Allison Hightower's a warg? Like, if you don't know what a warg in Game of Thrones is like, yo, well, a warg in Game of Thrones like got special abilities to where they like can control animals or they could like see the future warg Game of Thrones. Right? Look at this. Like, yo, you see my man right here? Like, my man, like Bran Stark was a warg. Like, he could control his wolves. He could see into the past. Right? This dude right here, he had like a little eagle that he. So like, I see Allison Hightower standing up, her eyes rolled back. I'm like, oh shit, yo, Allison Hightower's a fucking warg. Like, yo, we lit out here. Oh, like, oh, she got superpowers too. No wonder her daughter could see the future and shit like that. Like, she's clairvoyant. I'm like, oh, we lit. Come to find out, Shorty getting, oh, she getting fucking her shit, like, you know, she getting the coochie ate, she getting the boom boom licky licked. I'm like, nah, no way, son. I'm like, yo, who is this? And I'm like, yo, it better not be this motherfucker. I'm like, yo, it better not be this nigga right here. I'm like, yo, it better not. If it's that, we about to square up, Kristen, because it better not be. It was that nigga. It was that nigga, yo. It was him. It was him. Y'all remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Wait, hold on. Where my shit at? Hold up. Y'all remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Give me a second. This shit right here.
Ah! It should have been me, not him. It's not fair. Ah! It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
It should have been me. Yo, come on. This guy, yo, oh my God. The lusciousness, right? That was the first scene that we seen Allicent this season. I'm like, damn, yo. Shit, I might have to be Team Green now. But either way, we see her. A whole bunch of shit happens. You know, they're basically planning war. They're planning on how to take over territories and shit like that. You know, we get to see kind of the personality of Aemon. He's not as bad as Joffrey. If y'all remember Joffrey from Game of Thrones, he that boy, man, he was a fucking. He's probably the one of the worst kings that I've seen on TV as far as like deranged and just pure evil, but not even like evil like a Darth Vader or evil like a and he's just like spoiled brat who has too much power who just like tortures people and does crazy shit for no reason. Um But yeah, that Aemon, like he's kind of playful a little bit. He's still a little fucked up, but he's not as bad as Joffrey. So we see them planning their shit. Kristan and Aemon, who is he's the one who rides the big ass dragon. Who's Aegon's brother, and I know I'm keep mixing up their names, but it's whatever. They want to get into action. They're like, yo, we need to fight Alicent. She is. Let me get off of this fucking screen. Um, let me show up Alicent. Alicent, she wants to. She still sees Rhaenyra as her best friend or ex best friend, or she's still trying to mend the relationship. She's still trying to do the shit that what they portray in the show on what women do, which is to take like a soft road about it. And her dad, who is Otto Hightower, who's the hand of the king, is like, nah, like you being too soft about it. I know Rhaenyra is your friend, but this is war. Like if you want to see your son on the throne, we need to kill that side of the family. All right, and that's basically what's happening with the Greens, with Rhaenyra and her squad. Rhaenyra with Rhaenyra is married to her uncle. Yes, yes, I know. Rhaenyra and Daemon Targaryen. Rhaenyra is married to her uncle, and her uncle is kind of like taking charge because Rhaenyra has been gone because she's mourning her son, trying to find it. They got a nice little squad, but Daemon basically takes it in his hands to get revenge after Rhaenyra says, I want Aemon Targaryen dead. Remember, Aemon is the one that killed her son. His big ass dragon basically devoured him. So Daemon takes it in his hands to go to King's Landing like on a sneaky sneak, and he finds two people to go and assassinate Aemon Targaryen because he's like, yo, we need to like end this shit now. Also, Daemon is a little bit of a loose cannon, kind of does what he wants when he wants, but not all the time. And I know that sounds so fucking weird, but again, like, if you're tuning in, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, in the books, there is a famous scene called Blood and Cheese, right? Um, I got to be like super like careful with what I show because I don't want it to be like crazy, but basically, yeah. Basically, Aemon goes and finds these two basic assassins. I forget their names are, but their nicknames are Blood and Cheese. One is called Blood because he's very ruthless and he's not ruthless to only men. So use your imagination there. And the other guy's name is Cheese, and he's a rat catcher. And like we even meet him like eating cheese. And Aemon basically says like, "Yo, I want y'all to go kill." Here we go, right here. Aemon's like, "Yo, I want y'all to go kill, Aemon Targaryen." And they're like, "Yo, what if we can't find him? Like, I'm the rat catcher. Like, I know the ins and outs, the back alleys, the hallways, the fucking like secret compartments in the Red Keep. And that's where all of the royal people stay." He's like, "I could get you in there, but what if we can't find Aemon?" And Damon's basically like a son for a son, but he kind of leaves it like open to interpretation. And I think they do that in the book. So the last, I would say, like 10 minutes of the episode is of these two random ass characters sneaking through the Red Keep. And they basically, let me see if I could find this. Probably can't find it in here. It might not be in here. You might not be able to find it online. You could see them like walking through like the sewers and shit like that. But they basically find Helena, who is Aegon's wife, the queen, his younger sister, his baby mama, all wrapped up into one. And she's in her room with, I think, three of her children. She's like rocking one to sleep, which is like the infant, and then she's got like two, I think they're twins or whatever. I don't know. It's a boy and a girl. And they can't find Aemon, so they find this room and they basically get her by like knife point, and they're like, yo, point us to whatever son, like son for a son, like, and oh god, this scene is crazy. But again, we're talking Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Like, this is what we fucking do in this fucking series. It's like we get to the shits. Like, nobody is safe in this. And they basically make her, and forgive me again, I wish I wrote this shit down, but they basically tell her to choose. Oh no, this is one of the things that I didn't realize, or didn't understand, is they ask her which one is a boy, and she's like, that one, because she's like, that's what the one that we're gonna kill, and she's like, that one, and they're like, all right, cool, and the dude's like, nah, she's just giving you the first one because she don't want you to kill the real one. It's like, yo, y'all kind of could have just checked. It's like, y'all gonna kill this poor child. Is like, yo, I hate that I even have to say this, yo. This is so fucking crazy. But it's like, yo, y'all could have just fucking like, but all right, whatever. Yeah, this is how it's going down. So they end up, doing the fucking deed, and like you can fucking like hear it. Like, oh man, it was crazy. So she grabs the other child and walks out, and she's like looking like, trying to find like a safe place to go. She ends up going to her mom's fucking room, who, you guessed it, is clapping, or I'm sorry, Kriston, or whatever the fuck this dude's name is clapping her cheeks. Fucking, yo, clapping. Hell, run this back. Where's my shit at? I don't even know where my shit is. Oh, it's right here.
It should have been me, not
Clapping
him.
her cheeks. She is riding that thing, yo. Oh my god. She is riding that. And she just goes in and she's like, oh shit. Like, what the fuck happened? And then they kind of cut it there. So that's like one of the, obviously, is a great fucking um, ending for an episode. Crazy fucking ending. But it's like we know this type of shit. Like, y'all remember the Red Wedding? The Red Wedding when Rob and his wife, basically, and his whole family, his whole fucking army, get massacred at his uncle's wedding with the phrase. But yeah, they get massacred. What else? We've seen, obviously, Ned getting his head chopped off. We've seen Joffrey at his wedding drink poison and fucking like we've seen so much shit in Game of Thrones. It's like, yo, we're fucking used to it. Game of Thrones also is not shy at doing shit to children. Like, remember the first season, the Hound got the butcher's boy, like clapped him. Arya had poked her needle through this fat kid. Like, again, this is Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Like, it's with the shits. So one of the things that people, so the episode for me, like a 9 out of 10. Like, I freaking loved it. I'm hyped. I can't wait to see the rest of the season. One of the things is some people were upset about the scene with these two, which is weird. But it wasn't like true to the books. But if you, and again, like, you can look this up yourself. Like, there's even a Facebook post. Like, you guys could go on Eddard Stark on Facebook, and he kind of breaks it down, and he basically says, let me kind of find the place. I think it's right here. All right, cool. But basically, people are upset because they kind of changed things around at that last scene. Game of Thrones is not shy about changing scenes that are from the book. Remember, the books are massive. There's a lot of books, so there's a lot of stuff that are going to be changed just because of creative, free range, and also timing and shit like that. I don't think this had to do with timing. I just think this had to do with, tastefulness. You know, not a lot of people want to see, like, actually physically see, a murder that brutal, and it's very brutal. But I think they did it in the perfect way possible at the end of the show. It's like, what else more do you want? Like, how could you ask for more without sounding like you're a fucking serial killer yourself? Like, it's weird. But basically, in the books, um, I think it's right here. As Blood and Cheese, like, they're going through basically the area where all of the royal people are. They kill like two guards or whatever. And then Helena actually goes into her mother's room to bring her kids to say good night. and Jaharis and Jahira and Maylor, they're the two twins are 6 years old, and the younger one is 2. As they enter their apartments, later is holding his Helena was holding his little hand and calling out her mother's name. Blood barred the door and slew the queen's guardsman, whilst Cheese appeared to snatch up Maylor. Scream and Yol die. Blood told her Grace. I'm sorry, I'm reading like a fucking robot. I'm trying to read this and not be like flagged by Facebook, so I'm sorry. Scream or you'll die, Blood told her. Queen Helena kept her calm, and I also can't fucking read. I feel like Queen Helena kept her calm. It is said, "Who are you?" She demanded of the two. "Debt collectors," said Cheese. "An eye for an eye, a son for a son. We only want one to square things. Won't hurt the rest of you fine folks. Not one little hair. Which one do you want to lose, Your Grace?" Doesn't sound crazy at all. Kind of sounds similar to what was happening in the show, but all right, cool. Once she realized what he meant, Queen Helena pleaded with the men to to unalive her. I'll probably like bleep that out, but Queen Helena pleaded with the men to unalive her instead. "A wife's not a son," said Blood. "It has to be a boy." Cheese warned the queen to make a choice soon before Blood grew bored and uh hard R word one of her children. I'll just leave it as that. That's pretty fucking graphic. That's probably the most graphic thing that was not said in the show. Again, Game of Thrones, they've said stuff like this all the time. But it's graphic. I mean, anybody like this, I will jump right in and freaking unalive that person. Like, I'll go toe to toe. Like, you don't hurt children on my watch. But again, this is fiction. This is fake. So, moving on. "Pick," he said, "or I will unalive them all." On her knees, weeping, Helena named her youngest Maylor. Perhaps she thought the boy was too young to understand, or perhaps it was because the older boy, Jaharis, was King Aegon's first son and heir, next in line to the Iron Throne. So there's very, very much importance with your oldest son being the heir to whatever you have. You hear that, little boy? Cheese whispered to Maylor, "Your mom wants you unalived." Then he gave Blood a grin, and the hulking swordsman slew Prince Jaharis, striking off the boy's head with a single blow. So basically, she chooses, and the boy's 2 years old. Blood, one of the assassins, says to the little boy, "You hear that? Your mom wanted you to die." And he ends up going for the oldest son anyway. But like in the book, obviously, it's like visually there so everybody could see. But my thing is like, yo, my nigga, it's a book. It's like you're imagining it anyway. You could still do that. In the show, they actually did it off screen. So like you couldn't see anything, but you could hear it. But it's like, yo, you can imagine it. Do the same shit you did when you read the books if it's that important to you. But yeah, fucking crazy, insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think that was like the craziest thing to be fucking worried about. But all in all, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. I love this shit as far as House of the Dragon, the story. I love that they actually put budget into it. I was watching the making of it, and I see that they're using a lot of like some real locations, but a lot of it is just pure set, which is crazy because it doesn't look like that. One of my gripes with what's that shit with Henry Cavill? The Witcher. The Witcher looked too polished, too produced, too much like a studio setting. Like all of the castles and shit, they just look super plain. It looks like people like built this on a set. It looked like everything was like plastic or like fake cement. Like in this shit, like this shit looks fucking real. Like it looks like actual locations. And of course, they do a really good job blending it. There's some like CGI where it's like, all right, I could tell this is like, whatever. But for the most part, it's good. Um, but yeah, man, I'm like it. I love it. Can't wait for next episode next Sunday, and we'll be fucking right back here.